welcome. This is Thomas Merrick, and this is the long-delayed Season 1 of Marlows Stingrays. And I want to bore you with why it's taken me like a year and a half to get this done, but it has, and here we are. I've reset the time. We're going to start to be January 1st, 3025, and here at the beginning, I just want to give you a little bit of a background as to the backstory of Marlows Stingrays before we actually get into the meat of the game. Marlows Stingrays actually was originally called Ivan's Crusaders, and that was a stable on Solaris. For those unfamiliar, Solaris is the game world of the Battletech universe, where mechs fight in gladiatorial combat for money and so forth. Carl Marlow himself was a noble from the House of from the House Mark in the Free Worlds League, but he fell on hard times. His family actually fell out of favor and no longer really holds any power. So he ended up taking his mech, it was a Shadowhawk, into Solaris and hooked up with Ivan's Crusaders. Ivan's Crusaders was 12 strong and actually a very successful stable in all its own right. Won lots of championships, won lots of rewards, and this created a bit of jealousy and some backroom dealings between some of the other stables, to where they didn't like that they couldn't just win straight up in a fight, so they started trying to sabotage the Ivan Crusader stables, and it culminated into actually the assassinations of Ivan Rovinsky, who was the leader of the stable. After that happened, a lot of financial dealings just kind of went all over the place. They lost a lot of their money. They did retain their mechs and a lot of their support staff. And one of the guys who helped them out, helped keep the accounts, was a guy named Jebediah Waldo. It's this gentleman here. He is a longtime friend, actually, of Carl Marlow himself. Kept the accounts, kept the things supplied within the stable, spare parts and so forth. Well, he got into contact with some of his friends on Galtea, which is a hiring hall for mercenary companies in the Lyran Commonwealth. And altogether, the 12 the stable decided that they would jump on this opportunity and actually become a mercenary company to get away from just all the bad blood and all the problems of Solaris. And they actually elected to have Carl Marlow be their leader, since he had actual command experience before within the Free Worlds League and was a bit of a noble. And when they did so, they actually adopted his family's banner, which was a stingray, a stylized stingray, which you see here. And they also just started calling themselves Marlows Stingrays, and that's where the company comes from. Now, a lot of these, I know I've mentioned this before in the Season 0 videos, but this symbol here is actually a friend of mine from the Free Worlds League in McWare Online named Stingray, and he uses this as his avatar, but this is something he actually drew, and it's actually a modified version of something he used back then. And all of Marlow's Stingrays, and many of the characters I'm about to introduce you to, is characters he used back when he was a teenager. Now, he's gone on, and he's actually a lot better of an artist now, but even so, I still like the pictures he drew. But even back then, you'll be able to see he was a pretty talented artist, way better than I am. I have trouble with stick figures, but this is actually kind of his company. It's kind of where I decided to. He was telling me about him. I said, hey, I'm going to be doing this Megamek thing, so I'll use your company. And he very graciously allowed me to use the artwork and so forth. And I've not really modified it, I brightened it a little bit and actually put it into portraits. And I may, at the end of videos, until I run out of them, just kind of show you the original artwork, because it is pretty good. So let's go ahead and introduce you to the guys. We have, well, these aren't really the guys, but we do have 3 platoons of infantry. We have 1 aerospace fighter, I don't remember why. I made this unit a year and a half ago. I don't remember all the reasons I did all this. I don't know that we're going to do a whole lot with aerospace fighters, but I do have this guy here. I don't have a picture for him or anything like that. That may change. the meat and potatoes here is going to be Alpha Company. And let's go ahead and start with the Scout Lance. Now this guy here is going to change. Since he had 12 people for his company, but one of the guys that he had was Jebediah here. And which isn't, he was always more of an administrator and kind of did all the contract work, the face of the group, as it were, for his company. Kind of the same way here. He's in the administration, he's the logistics officer. So I had to actually get a 12th person for our entire Lance, our company. So I kind of already have an idea of what I'm going to do with this guy. But he's in a Commando 2D. Let's go ahead and take a look. I'll take a look at the units as we go. It's actually got a nice little picture there instead of the little icon. But, all this is going to be 3025 tech too. 3025 is a reason I picked that as a date. It's all old tech, kind of in the middle of the third succession war, and there's lots of contracts, and it's actually really kind of a generic start date for any campaign. And I hope to actually progress into the years, and we'll actually start getting access to new technology, and I don't know how long it's going to take. I would love to go all the way up into even to eras I've never personally played in, like FedCom Civil War and Jihad and so forth. I don't know about Dark Age, but I guess we'll see where we're at. Like I think we'd be hard pressed to make it much past the clan invasion. Now, here's hoping. But all this is going to be 3025 tech, so it's going to be very basic kind of mechs and loadouts. This is a 6.9 mech, doesn't jump, and very SRM heavy and a medium laser. Okay, in tabletop, not as fast as you'd like, but what are you gonna do? You pay for that. You pay for the speed by having more armament. Here we have Victoria Biza, call sign Mom. She's kind of the when he was telling me about the character, she's kind of the mother figure who tries to make sure everything is taken care of and so forth. So she's one of the Lance commanders. Now, one of the things here you'll see in the description, founder, which he did not have. He actually has a share in the company. I need to refamiliarize myself with the rules on the share system. But basically, at the end of the contract, we don't pay people up front. We pay them basically a share. They own a share in the company is basically kind of like a corporate entity where they have shares. So when we get contracts, they're paid based on the shares they have. Founders don't. They were the founders. They're the ones that will always be with us. These guys could potentially leave. The founders, unless they die, will be with us forever. And hopefully that will be a long time. So, oh yeah, he's a green pilot, 5.6. She is 4.5, which I think is on the cusp of being regular. Honestly, the designation isn't as important as just the number. The number is what it is. Gunnery of 4 and a piloting of 5. We'll get into that. Well, really, honestly, if you really want to get into the numbers, go back and watch my Season 0 stuff. But odds are I will. Knowing me, I'll throw in a reminder and so forth. But let's take a look at the Mongoose. It's an 8.12, fairly speedy. It's about as fast as. Honestly, the mechs in tabletop don't get much faster than 12. There's a couple exceptions, but that's almost a max speed. So this thing is as fast as you can go. It's a 30 tonner, 25 tonner. And 3 medium lasers, a small laser, so it's got a little bit of a punch to it. But with only 10 heat sinks, it can really. It could potentially run into some heat issues. We'll see. Tina Malik. Oh, I did roll up to see where they were all from. She's actually from Earth. He's from the Lyran Commonwealth. She is from the Free Worlds League originally. Tina Malik. I don't remember her story, but she's one of the originals. 5.6 pilot, so not that great. She's flying around in a Javelin 6.96. This means it can jump, and its loadout is just a couple SRM6s. So it's got some nice punch to it. We got 15 shots each, so she can fire it 15 times and not have to worry about it. With 10 heat sinks, she's probably not going to run into any heat issues unless battle damage and so forth. And finally, we have Private Arno Broadhead, who you'll notice has a lot of cybernetics. Now he's from the Federated Sons. Kind of the story I have for him. I'm not going to give him any kind of cybernetic quirks or anything like that because those are way really out of time for this period. But he's from the Federated Sons, and his story is he was really hurt badly as a kid. Late teenager, and he actually got admitted into. Oh man, I'm blanking on that name bad. The Federated Sons has it's a facility. You know what? I'm gonna pause the video and I will come back and I found it. The New Avalon Institute of Science. They are kind of a cutting-edge science institute in this time period. Of course, a lot of things are lost tech. Many worlds are actually all the way back into the Industrial Revolution. They just lost technology. They don't remember how to do stuff, or they just don't have the supplies to upkeep some stuff from more modern or even by our standards futuristic tech. It's all they can really do to keep like battle mechs running. Which is something you'll actually see as kind of an era modifier. I don't remember if I turned them on or not, but the era modifiers, like during this time, it's hard for mechanics. Not just because it's not that they don't necessarily know how to repair something. It's just they can't find the parts, or they just don't have the correct tools to fix things. But this institute, the New Avalon Institute, is very cutting edge. So it was kind of a charity thing. It was a very prototype type thing where this guy is going to give some cybernetic implants, and that's why you see him with cybernetics. We may roll with it a little bit in some stories, unless he just dies outright at the very beginning of the game or something like that. But and that's something else. As we go forward, we're not going to go strictly by the rules of what battles were. I might do some special events or special battles just based on the story, just for fun, variety, and whatnot. But we'll get there. See, what he's driving a standard Phoenix Hawk, Phoenix Hawk 1. So there's 696. It's actually technically a medium mech, but it's a pretty quick one, very agile. 2 machine guns, 2 medium lasers, and a large laser. So that's our Scout Lance. Here's our Attack Lance, a little bit heavier. We have Olivia Gardner here, who I think is the XO. I'm fairly certain that she's the XO. She is a 4-4 pilot, originally from the Capellan Confederation. Apparently I put her in a Shadowhawk temporarily. But she is currently in a Stalker 3F. This is probably the heaviest, well, one of the heaviest mechs we have. It's an 85 tonner, 3.5, very slow. And its loadout is 2 LRM-10s, 2 SRM-6s, 2 large lasers, and 4 medium lasers. This thing brings a lot of guns. And it is glorious, even if it is kind of phallic shaped. Backing her up is J.D. Krakora. He is one of the best pilots that was in the stable. 3-3 pilot. He is a multitasker and has natural aptitude for gunnery. I don't remember exactly what those do, but we can figure that out later. He's originally from the Circinus Federation, which is one of the periphery governments. And again, he's a founder as well. I got him in a Battlemaster 1G. That's 4.6, a little bit faster for a. This actually goes. For an assault, it goes at a pretty nice clip. Its loadout is a couple machine guns, PPC, SRM-6, and 6 medium lasers, 2 of which are rear mounted. Next, we have Jesse Nardini. 4.5 pilot. He's originally from the Lyrian Commonwealth, and I've got him in a Centurion A, 4.6, AC-10, LRM-10, and 2 medium lasers, one of which is rear mounted. And we have Mel McKinney, originally from the Free Worlds League, and we've put her in a Crusader 3R, 4.6, 2 LRM-15s, 2 SRM-6s, 2 machine guns, and 2 medium lasers. Finally, in our command lance, we have Captain Marlow himself, Carl Marlow, originally from the Free Worlds League, and we've thrown him in his standard Shadowhawk 2H, medium laser, AC-5, LRM-5, SRM-2. Honestly, not the greatest loadout, but it works. It's also fairly nimble for a 55-ton mech. Can jump, it goes a max of 8. And I don't think this thing's really going to have a whole lot in the way of the heat issues. It has 12 heat sinks. It doesn't even generate anywhere near that much heat. So it'll generate 3, at most it'll generate 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's actually rather interesting that you would throw on more heat sinks, but it counts for battle damage later on. I'm going to skip Jeb here real quick. These two are actually brother and sister. We have, and they're both from the Draconis Combine. We've got Bruce Nikita and Natalie Nikita. Bruce here is 4'5", and he's in a Shadowhawk 2H as well. Did I have him? He was in a Wasp at some point. I think I must have up-tonned everybody before we started, because I know she was in an Urban Mega at one point. Anyway, let's get back to the Shadowhawk. It's the same Shadowhawk Carl has, so we've already kind of gone over those stats. And let's go back to Natalie. Yeah, Urban Mech. She's currently in a Vindicator. It's a 4.64. Not quite as fast, but can actually jump a little bit farther than those Shadowhawks. It's a 45 tonner. It has kind of a spread of weapons as well. A PPC, which is kind of nice. A small laser, LRM-5, and a medium laser. It's a little bit more of a powerful loadout than the Shadowhawk, but this is going to be a lot hotter. 16 heat sinks. Yeah, there's potential for heat there. The Vindicator, I don't know. Back in the days of the old Battletech Muxes, I used to pilot one. I did all right on them, but honestly, they're not that. They're the Capellan Confederation kind of generic, mass-produced mechs that just are thoroughly average. But let's get on to Jeb here. Jeb Rovinsky is actually the son of Ivan Rovinsky. He technically inherited the stable, and he's the one that diversified it into the company that it currently is. He's very young. He's only 17 years old now. But he inherited, he's a 5.6 pilot. He's not that great of a pilot. He's from Solaris 4, or 7, that's where he was born. And he inherited the Crazy Ivan, which is a special Crusader 3.4 that his father used for Solaris tournaments. And this is the only mech, and probably is going to be the only mech in this campaign I'm going to modify. I generally don't like modifying mechs, even though, you can get some, I was mentioning like him, I could probably take off heatsink or whatever, but I don't like doing that. I like having the base stock stuff and just, rolling with whatever they give me. But this one, I just wanted to be kind of special because of the unit. So, what is the Crazy Ivan? First of all, the Crazy Ivan can jump. It's a 4.64, 2 SRM4s, a large laser, a medium laser, a small laser, and a hatchet in each hand. Very much a gladiatorial type mech. I'm really looking forward, and I hope he actually survives for a while. It doesn't help that I put the 5.6 in it, but it made sense story-wise, so we're going to do that. Yeah, let's just hope for the best. There's things that could happen. But there it is. This is the Marlows Stingrays. This is what we're going to be rolling with. As far as, there are some more personnel. Like I said, this guy, I've got an idea for him. I kind of know what I want to do with him. But I will show you that next time when I actually got the picture and so forth. Let's go into here. Now, all the techs, I do kind of want to put names to techs of a certain status, like veteran and above, possibly. But odds are we're going to have a lot of techs. So they will be... the thing is, the reason I'm kind of stuttering here, I don't really know how I want to handle the pictures. I don't necessarily want to take submissions. At the same time, it does open up some interesting possibilities for, like, naming people after, subscribers and so forth. So, it's still open air. If you guys got some ideas on what you think would be kind of cool, let me know. So far, I think I only have this one administrator, which I've already introduced to you. And I think we only have the one doctor. Yeah, which I know what I'm going to do with these guys. I actually kind of was inspired by it earlier. Originally from Far Home. I think I gave everybody. Wow. I wonder if I did that or if it did it automatically. I might have done it, because you also got the shares here, and certain people, like Green Mechanics, they don't get any shares. You have to actually be useful before you start actually earning shares. So these are kind of like interns, more or less. The mechanics. You see, the mechanics aren't even going to be doing anything because we don't have any kind of vehicles for them. As far as maintenance, because I know in the season 0, I was going back and forth a lot of times with me. As you see over here, I was doing some. Apparently, I was doing some practice stuff when I first made all this stuff, and I don't know. I don't know what all this was about. I just reset the time back to front, and I am going to give us a little bit more money too to start. Maybe just an extra $1 million, which I'll do here in a minute. I'm probably going to keep this in GM mode just so I can sort out any bugs or wonkiness that happens as we progress here. But for the most part, we're going to play this as legit as possible. But we're just going to keep it fun too. I was thinking I was giving them a dropship as well, but apparently didn't do so. Which is fine. The dropship should be something rare, something we can work towards. Let's see. I think I do have some supplies. Machine guns, LRMs. Did I not get any armor or anything? I might need to fix that too. Oh no, I got some armor. In transit even. Can I just like auto get these things? Deliver part now, yeah, let's just do that. I don't know what was going on there, and honestly the time is weird now because I did that in between sessions. You know what, I'm going to give these parts now. I won't mess with the C-bills. So, let's see, was there anything else in transit? Yeah. I'll do this off screen. I'm not going to spend all the time just right-clicking for your amusement. Nothing repair bay, the one doctor, who I will do something with here. And the finances, which is going to be all kind of wonky because it's going into February, and apparently I did some practice stuff all the way up into April.